Good night, everyone. Welcome again to the CNFO's Leadership Institute. We have our regular participants for year 2, and it's very nice to see you all here. I'm going to be taking over this session that was to be facilitated by Ms. Claudine Wilson, who is from St. Lucia. Due to some technical difficulties, particularly her Wi-Fi is not operating at the moment. I will have to do this session. So my name is Nadine Nembhard from Belize, and I am from the staff of the CNFO. Okay, I'm going to share my screen, and I will be grateful if I have very, very active participation to help me get through this session. So you can now see that we are going to do this module, which is module 7 on institutional identity and integrity. So tonight, I will be facilitating and attempt to define and explore identity, leadership promoting group identity and integrity, and a conclusion. All right, I'm going to read what I have on the screen. So let's see if we can understand this together. Bear with me. I'll try to read as best as possible. So, institutional identity and integrity. These are clearly expressing, promoting, and defending the values, the mission, and the uniqueness of our organizations. It is often not an area of focus, but we should plan and develop a framework of standards, procedures, and guidelines that would express the goals of our institutions. CNFO should pay attention to these areas of importance, as they will guide our dealings and promote respect. I recall in our session with Ms. Claudine, I hope I paid attention, where Mitch was doing the training and the mentoring of our facilitator. And I believe it was at this point he gave an example of me. He used me, Nadine, as an example, where he stated that he can rest assured that in carrying out my duties as a staff member of the CNFO, that I am always defending our mission, vision, and our culture. So you have to be very clear about these things that we learned in previous modules. You must be a part of that, those goals. Why I say that is because even though other people or groups or institution may have genuine good intention, and they don't want to see any ill happenings. However, that intention sometimes it's their vision and their goal and their mission, and it doesn't always necessarily mean, okay, how good the intention, it's in alignment with what the culture of the CNFO. We are here to defend and protect the rights of fisher folk, and we can only see that being in the foot or the feet of fisher folk. People from the research, they have other agenda. People from the conservation world, they have other agenda. And so you must defend their integrity and your mission. So that's basically, we have an identity and we cannot stray from that. We cannot be co-opted and alienated from what is our true identity. And we are fisher folk, and we want to earn a living sustainably We also care about the environment, but we cannot be co-opted to come out of our livelihood to please other groups. So we have an identity and we stick to it. And no matter what, we defend it. So we do that as an institution, and that's the basic idea of this presentation. So Mitch used me as an example because the minute I hear anything that is outside of our agenda, I get a red flag. I would message my leaders. I have an executive, I have agent that's on the call, and Mitch particularly for their opinion on maybe a misguided information. So let's go on. I think I defined it using an example. We are going to read this. It says, how can we express the concept of identity? Identity refers to the qualities, the beliefs, personality, looks, and/or expressions that make a person or group unique or similar to some other entity. One can regard the awareness and the categorizing of identity as positive or as destructive. Identity is about how a group desires express itself as in the face presented to others, and about how the group desires other entities to view the group. Clearly, identity is about image, which either has no effect, attracts, or repels. So I want to think about you and your organization and how all of this plays into how you operate and how you want to be identified. The image that you portray. I'm going to go to the next slide. So who are you? What characterizes the composition of your group? So let's use the CNFO. The CNFO is a network of national fisherfolk organizations. And what is an NFO? An NFO is a grouping of PFOs. And a PFO consists of SSF fisherfolk. So I don't know, we are all in this system for a while, so we know these acronyms and these letter and abbreviations. So NFO is the national for the country, and then the PFO would be the cooperatives, and of course the SSF would be you, the individual fisher that make up the primary organizations. And so all these groups should be identifiable based on their critical membership, focus, and location. No, the presentation a little dry without pictures and graphics. I really feel regretful about that, but let's carry on. And so defining and exploring identity areas require attention. So what require attention is the where. We are looking at the where. Where do you operate? Location is considered as important part of identity, even in a virtual world. You know, in real estate, they always say location, location, location. That is like the most important thing, and it's even important in your organization's identity. The location. I mean, because it's location that situates you at a certain place, giving you certain characteristics, maybe looking at culture, whatever. So I remember this example. So I always say, I am Nadine Nembhard, I am from Belize. And the lady, Miss Claudine, that was to present, immediately went to Mitch and said, Mitch, you introduced yourself, but you didn't say where you're from. So Mitch had to say, okay, I'm from Antigua. So that location was important to her so that she can help to identify the person. It gives, you know, personify more, you feel more, I see this image more clear if you put this person in a place and a location. So the place give context to your existence and allows for immediate linkages. Your place is this world, realities associated with your area, country, region, and it promotes greater appreciation of who you are. So what, why, and how? These questions, it is normally expressed in your mission statement. And I know that we went over this already. And I remember the poll, almost everyone that day, that night, answered that they know, or they know that they have a mission statement for their organization. So you have your mission statement. You have to know where you're at, what you want to achieve, and where you're going as your vision. So now you're going to look at what do you do as an organization. So for the CNFO, in our mission statement, we have there stated, and if you go on the website or anywhere, you will see a part of it speaks to networking, building capacity, and that is exactly what we are trying to do with this Leadership Institute. With your assistance, we want to help to build our capacity, our executive board and general membership. And we try to do that through these online trainings and however we can outside of the Leadership Institute. And we represent, so there are conferences that you have heard mentioned on the Leadership Institute, things like COFI, the Caribbean Fisheries Forum, that's a CRFM ministerial meeting that happens every year. I think COFI is every 3 years. These are policy making, or you say you get directions from the government. At these meetings, they make decisions. We have Dr. Grant, she's from the CRFM, and on the call. And so when they have these meetings, we have to represent, because happily and luckily we are observers, the meeting like the forum. So we would send our leaders, at least one person, to participate and represent our views. For that pause, I wasn't prepared to present tonight. Anyhow, and then, so we build capacity with network and we represent. Yes. And how do we accomplish all of these activities and these actions? Is through partnerships. We get grant funding and we have a lot of volunteerism. So if you ask Mitch, even Mitch or myself, sometimes we volunteer, but particularly our board members. And even in your PFOs, I know most of it, when you go on those executive, you volunteer a time and so on. When you're dealing with, you know, nonprofit especially. All right, let's see which we are here now to the where. So where do you intend to go? And this where is where the answer is expressed in our vision statement. So you have your goals. Your goals are linked to the vision. And so we have an example here. The CNFO, we want to have knowledgeable small-scale fisher folk. So nobody can tell we know foolishness about no research conducted when we have the traditional knowledge and the experience to disprove whatever they are saying, if that is the situation. So we are very knowledgeable. That's what we want to have. Another goal, we want to enjoy a good quality life. Everybody enjoy a good life. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people enjoy, a lot of people that we work with, I want to say, enjoy a good quality life. So we too, we want a good quality life. That is one of our goals to achieve. We want to be comfortable. We want to have direct engagement with the fisheries management. What about co-management? Why can't fisher folk be a part of the management of the resources? Since, of course, we are an important player, stakeholder in the industry. And like our partners promote, we too want to have a fishing industry for the future, like the children who are coming up. So we have to be responsible, and we too want to protect the resources through responsible fisheries stewardship and also promote the EAF. EAF. Shellyan, tell me what an EAF again. Dr. Cox?
Ecosystems approach to fisheries.
Yes, Mitch. You know, I actually forget ecosystem.
No worries, we see you have the future with you.
Yes, I really did enjoy learning while I'm reading, so I'll continue. Okay, so we answer some questions that defines our integrity. I'm going to continue. Okay, what do we mean by integrity? I will read this paragraph for you and follow me, and if you have any questions, we can ask afterwards. Integrity can be viewed as the practice of being honest and showing a consistent and uncompromising adherence to strong moral and ethical principles and values. In ethics, integrity is regarded as the honesty, truthfulness, or accuracy of one's actions and may embrace the issue of motive. Integrity can stand in opposition to hypocrisy, in that judging with the standards of integrity involves regarding internal consistency as a virtue and suggests that parties holding within themselves apparently conflicting values should account for the discrepancies or alter their beliefs. So all I get from that, integrity means you have to come with honesty and good values and be of, you know, strong ethical principles. You can I'll use the word unethical and uncompromising and disrespectful and cunning. Help me with other words, people. When we come with integrity, we have to come good. So when people test your standards, any test, and that, you know what, Michelle, use me as an example here. Any test, your test my actions, hopefully, this is my belief when I'm working for the CNFO, when you put it to a test, it would pass because whatever action I did was of good moral standing as far as I believe or could have done.
Yeah, we certainly agree with you.
Yes, Mitch. Thanks, Mitch. Thanks for the assurance. Make us feel good. All right. So well, seriously, guys, when you work with an organization, people who don't have these qualities that are described in this paragraph, they actually don't last long, and people could see the hypocrisy in them, and of course, you know reach too far if you're not working positively for the best interest of the group. You know what, the work for personal interest and gain. You're the work to do actions that will bring benefit, of course, to you, but not only to you, but your entire group and your organization. And this is what we look at when we look at integrity. And then on this other slide, it says defining and exploring integrity. So we still look at areas requiring attention. Let's see what we have here. So we have both internal and external relationships. And this requires institutional memory. Records must be kept and available. Organizational culture must be identified, developed, and articulated. Internal policies and procedures are clear and accessible. Membership should be acquainted with all organizational issues. So if you don't have your records and your filing in place, you can't be consistent because you not even could bring up a file that mentioned what happened at the last meeting so that you could move forward and you could do an action from the minutes. So you have to keep your files in order and you have to be organized. Right now, I am waiting for my holiday Christmas so I could organize the Leadership Institute file even better than how I have it. I want to figure out if they have a system in place where I can put all my participants or our participants in a, how do I say, inventory. I don't know what software exists, so that 10 years from now, when Dr. Grant can check how much modules she participated in, that record that can be easily found, because I have to keep track of everybody from every year and every module that you participate in. And then if you want to come and say, Miss, I want a lead participation certificate, what are left? And you can know 10 years from now. I want to be able to find that easily. So I have to develop a system to ensure that we have all our filing fit. Everything, well, we have it for everything else we do in the CNFO, but for especially this Leadership Institute. So we need to keep our records together. Yes. To go to the next slide. Next slide. You sleeping, baby? Okay. Yes. Sorry for that pause. The baby said she's sleeping, that's why she's acting up. But anyhow, we're going to see this slide and see what it says. It speaks to moral and ethical principles. And we just discussed this. You have to be truth and honest. And my dad always teach me that best you don't even try and make up any excuse because you're so stupid in our sense that really they add up. And if you look for your excuse, the no better excuse than there is than honesty. If you give an honest opinion on something, people typically would, you know, sympathize with you and work around your situation. So just be honest. Be fair. Not try to be greedy and take up all the fish in space and then you got products you can't even sell maybe, I don't know. But in a life, you just be fair, and in your organization and in your work ethics, you just be fair. And then somebody else will come behind and be fair to you. And then it speaks to equity, which versus equality. And we must have respect. And I learned a lot from Mitch, my upbringing, and then Mitch just like give the lead cherry and talk to teach me and through their sessions how to manage relationship and how to find composure when we're in our bad situation and still be respectful to the point that people might just, you know, overdo, but you still remain respectful, and that build into the identity and the integrity. Listen why, because now you're respectful. You not to represent you, Miss Paula from Punta Negra. You to represent all the women you work with. And so if you go out of character and be disrespectful, they know what say, Miss Paula, disrespectful. You know what they're going to say? They're going to say, all the women from Punta Negra, disrespectful, because you don't paint a bad picture. We don't want to affiliate ourselves or associate ourselves with them because you're not rich no way. All they do the quarrel and fight when you try to speak to them, and they talk ignorant and irrational. So you don't want that. You develop an identity for an organization, and you want to promote respect, equity, and honesty. And of course, all of the moral principles tie into good governance. And in good governance, transparency and accountability, these are key elements. So you need to be transparent, and you know how to be transparent, and I just learned that today. You keep a paper trail of every single action that you do, and that creates transparency. As long as you're speaking the truth and you're being fair and you're also respectful, you write out exactly what is transpiring in an email, copied to all your members, so that this information is known by all, and that is what you call transparency. Now, when you try to sweep things under the rug and operate in secrecy, that is the opposite of transparency. So we want to be transparent when we are working, and all of this goes with the good morals as a person. And when you bring that as a person, you not only bring that as a person, you bring that to the entire organization. And then the last bullet speaks about participation. So in a good governance, you can make a decision in a year board meeting where only Mr. Milton they speak, and when he don't speak, that is the law. Nobody else had a say that we are going to sell fish now at a reduced cost. No, we need participation, equal participation from the members, so that everybody feel a part of the organization and everybody can see. Participation and transparency almost look like equal governance. And this slide speaks about credibility, the quality of being convincing, trusted, believable, and worthy of trust. I don't know if you could think of somebody when they speak with confidence and they're so convincing they could lead you down any street and you would follow because they're so convincing and their word or their advice you can trust. And you can trust that it's believable and it's credible. And that is tied to your reputation. And so when you have a positive and a good reputation, then people feel that they can trust you. You know, when I used to be in school, they had like teachers would agree with opinions that come from certain students. I mean, they could talk anything, even the teacher would just agree. Maybe they go home and research if what they were saying was accurate. But because the person always passes schoolwork, always did the good, always participate, you feel trusted that that source gives quality information. So maybe you would want to doubt it even though you're not sure. But it's likewise with your credibility. If you continuously act in an honest way with integrity, then you become credible, and that's what you want for your organization. You want that when we go to I don't know who is on the call, but when you go to a cooperative, you know, I feel that this cooperative, the WAPIO, in Belize we say WAPIO, that means like TFIO. You want to feel that, yes, they get the best deal, the best quality product, the best price possible that this cooperative could give to you. Maybe even if another cooperative is selling at a cheaper price, you know that the price that they are selling at is the best they can do because they have a reputation of serving the people and of taking you into consideration, everything. So we want to be credible. We want people to respect us, our members and our organization, so we can be outstanding. Then we want to be outstanding cooperatives and PFOs and NFOs. Let's see what we have here. So when we are promoting group identity and integrity, it starts with the leaders. So now we can have what Adrian way come from, I don't know, a cooperative way had mismanagement of all sorts, not even only funds, but you can't operate with them because they don't really speak proper truth. They just go off on the wrong tangent. Because now what happened, like I keep saying, you know, if you can't hold Adrian credible, then the whole organization look bad. So when you have, and that's why I believe part of the mission of the CNFO, when we build the capacity so that you can understand all of these things, so you can really bring this to your organization, and maybe if you need a facelift in the NFO or the PFO, that these awareness assist you. So CNFO is almost a home brand in the international world, not even in the Caribbean. All over the world, like people really respect the CNFO because of the leaders that and the direction that it has been going since its inception. And I can say this with all honesty because when I meet world leaders through the WFFP, they really hold the CNFO in high regards, more than we even know, or more than we even recognize or put ourselves. Yes, so they believe that they really astonished, I'm not lying, when they hear, because they remember back in the days we had like 10 members or 10 NFOs. So this year and last year, when I keep reminding, CNFO is a grouping of 17, just that amazed them. Just the membership that we have, 17 Caribbean member states, that then they're like, wow. So you want to impress your members, you want to impress your membership. your partners, and you want to impress the whole fishing industry and the whole population of your country. And so when you promote proper characteristics and promote good leaders, individual leaders, then the entire group look good and positive. And then they have a nice quote here. I hope we're soon done. We have a nice quote. Leadership, let me read this good together. You got it on your screen. Leadership is when you have the integrity coming from the mind. So you have a mindset to be of service and add value to other people's lives through personal development, empowering them to the highest levels of who they are by implementing their own innate, unique gifts and talents and making them a part of something much bigger than themselves and guiding them into becoming the fullest expressions of who they were created to be. A lot of words, but remind me of our philosophy. I started to think about some philosophy because I want to venture into a school program, whatever. And when I started my career, I always wanted to be a teacher. And then when you go through them parts of life, this is from when I was 18, you have to create philosophy, like your personal philosophy of life, or your philosophy of your career. And I remember I had something similar to this. It was where I wanted to have students work to their optimum levels. So one person might seemingly shine more than the next. But as long as you do work to your best capabilities, that's a positive. But how I will achieve this, you have to be attentive, creative, and then I think about this new word from Mitch, adaptive. You have to adapt, especially during COVID. A lot of adapting we had to do. So these are just having people as a leader working to their full potential. That's basically what that quote is saying, and that is what is leadership. And then you could help the process, and we, the CNFO, to try help all our members be better leaders through awareness, training, and even self-awareness. And then when you do this, this is when you achieve success. So when you work your hardest and to your fullest potential, you just call yourself successful. You're doing well. And this came from a Dr. Stacy Maxwell Knockenberger. All right, members, at the talk along at the last slide, and then I want to hear from some of you. This is the last slide, I promise. Leaders must pay attention to the things which promote group identity and integrity. So we promote group. Remember, we talked about the individual. Now we're talking about group. You have to look at your mission, what you want to accomplish. For the CNFO, I will repeat. We do networking, capacity building, and representation. That's all we have in our mission, and that's a lot of work by itself. And we have a vision where we want to say, oh no, comfortable, live a good quality life, and we want to have a good ecosystem while doing that. And then we have our manuals. I'm going to show that up if I'm better prepared. We have our policies and we have our procedural manuals, institutional memory. You have systems, and I know the cooperatives have system to build that in place. Group awareness and communication that are like top for me. Communication is key. If you notice, I depend on WhatsApp 24/7. You message, I respond. It doesn't matter what is the topic. People call me Friday night, my one free night, and I have to take off 30 minutes to communicate because I cannot reject or decline communicating to our members, especially at a regional level like this, even holidays. And then good governance, we spoke about that, and succession issues. So again, I know that came out a lot, that part of the training is so that we can build a capacity so that when people move out, the younger people or whatever age or whatever gender that will move in would have some qualification, some knowledge and capacity to take over leadership roles. So thank you for your attentiveness. I hope you didn't fall asleep and that you're still here with me. I will close this off so that I can come back where I can see people and then open up the discussion. Thanks again. Sorry, Mr. Norman, I just saw your message. I always have that bad habit of doing the, the small slides, but I will send you and everyone the presentation. So we are open now for discussion, at least 5 or 10 minutes. I don't have any questions prepared, but please share with me your experience when it comes to integrity, identity, building the identity of your organization. I will just mute and you can just jump in, please. Please.
Record.
I got 2 children. I got what 2-year-old when they cry sleeping, and I have an 18-year-old where they cry something outside of me. All right, Adrian. So Adrian is the leader of the CNFO, and like I explained, the CNFO has good credibility, and it's only come when we have good quality leaders. So thank the good Lord for all the quality leadership that we have in our midst. So I would like to call on our chairperson, Mr. Adrian Laroda, who has typed something in the chat to shed some light on the topic, please, sir.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? Very good. Madam Nadine, I want to thank you for your presentation. It was actually very succinct and explains clearly the mission of CNFO. I did put that message in the chat, but I just figured thought I would reiterate or rebrand it or mention it again. There's nothing much I can add other than to say that I'm happy about the success of the Leadership Institute in this regard. I mean, we've had a cadre of talented and very knowledgeable presenters, and it shows how deep, by Nadine's presentation tonight, it shows how deep the bench is in CNFO. You know, we can call on any one of our team to do a presentation and to express our mission. There's not a lot to add. I just want to say thanks to and welcome. I see the number of participants on the call, which is average, about what we average in every session. So as we move into the next phase of the LI, we're hoping for greater participation from our membership member countries. That's what we need to promote as we move forward. But there is not a lot that could be added to that very succinct presentation, and I want to thank you for that. And welcome again to everyone, and we look forward to your continued participation in these learning sessions. As we tend to, the mission, well, our plan is to expand the presentations and the cadre of people who will be presenting, so that we can cover as much basis as possible. And we want to move into the to the point where we could position ourselves to make the Learning Institute a certification body. Because it has been running for a while, and just to certify people who've been participating, to show that they've participated in these very, very meaningful and beneficial sessions. So on that being said, I just want to say thanks again. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Adrian. And
Nadine.
yes, Mitch, please. Thank you,
Yeah,
Mitch.
good night, everyone. I just wanted to put this into the mix for tonight. I want to say to all of us that are here that institutional identity and integrity are not automatic. You have to work on these things. And that is why CNFO has decided to put this particular module in the leadership training, because it is extremely important when you are operating in the real world that people take you seriously. So I would like to hear from the members, the participants that are here. I would like to hear some sort of feedback on, first, where is your organization in terms of actually actively working on promoting a particular identity and ensuring that the credibility of the organization is maintained. So I would really love some feedback on that. Where is your organization at now? Is there a focus, or is it something that we need to do some work? So I just wanted to throw that on the floor.
Mitch, but just before we go to that question, something else I wanted to add to, piggybacking off what you said. This is Adrian here again. Just wanted to bring something up. When you mentioned, the purpose of a mission, just for our audience too, we want you to know that we get in CNFO get invitations to participate in all manner of initiatives, and we actually sit back and determine what is good for us and what is good for in keeping with the mandate and the mission of CNFO, and what is good for our regional fisherfolk, because not everything that we don't rush to just join every bandwagon, and I think too that lends to our credibility and our purpose, because we're not gonna. We have the ability to say no, and that too I think has reinforced what our mission is, and being purposeful and deliberate. Just a question. I think is that Mr. Milton Horton on this call? I see there's a Milton. Is that Mr. Horton?
Oh, it's Milton Salman.
Oh yes. Oh, how are you doing? We're excellent.
I'm good.
All right. I just wanted
Adrian,
to ask.
I want you to know that Mr. Milton Salman is the vice chairperson of JFCU.
JFCU.
Where Glaston is from, the NFO in Jamaica.
Okay, excellent. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Good to have you. Good to have you here. Yes. So okay. So again, back to you and back to the audience again. In terms of Mitch's question, I just wanted to have that quick intervention. Thank you.
If you want to twist your question maybe one next way so that we could understand it, if someone will never understand it.
Sorry, Nadine, was that for me or
Mitch, who asked the question?
Okay, Mitch. Okay, yeah.
Mitch, you left us?
Just so, just so that we don't have this dead silence, is there anybody here who is participating for the first time? If you are, can you introduce yourself to us, please, and just you can segue into Mitch's question. Thanks.
Yes, I am Milton Salman from White House, Westmoreland, Jamaica. And it's my first meeting. And I found this meeting very informative. It's helped me a lot. And it's a very good training. Today I was talking to some guys and I'm telling them about this meeting. And I love it. I love it. I know it will make me be a better leader for my co-op and my fellow fisher folks. Thanks again.
Good night. Good night, I'm Paula Coleman from Jamaica. And I can truly say that this training is my first one, and it has been very informative, very interesting. I look forward to the different modules each night when it comes on, and I've learned so much. You know, it have positioned me personally where I want to see my cooperative going, because there are so many issues at time in cooperative that is not being paid attention to, and so this training has positioned me a certain way that I can be able to help to build capacity for my group members as well, and also to help to uplift the fisher folks in my area. So personally for me, this is a very good training, and I look forward to future modules. Thank you.
All right. If anybody wants to say anything, maybe we could spare another 3 minutes, but I don't like to go over the time. Because I know it takes a lot already from you to be here with us for 1 hour time from your evening activities. So I will just leave space for maybe one more comment, and then we're going to close off this session until next Tuesday again. We are meeting next week Tuesday and next week Thursday. And then we are going to close off for the year. Anybody else wants to chime in? Mr. Peter Regis, anything you want to say tonight, sir? Mr. Peter will do the last module. Maybe you could introduce yourself, Mr. Peter, and then we close off.
Peter Wayne Regis, Union Island, SVG NFO. It's a privilege to be part of this prestigious organization, which is building capacity among the fisher folk of the Caribbean. And it gives me so much joy to be able to relate to my fisher folks within the region, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as we move forward to that next level, which we need to raise our standard from where we are to higher heights. And education is the key. And we are trying our utmost best to get other fishers to be part and parcel of this transition process. Because without proper leadership and people dedication and willingness to work together as a team in order to move forward, we will basically be, spinning top in mud. And our approach to cooperative from a business perspective, not just a fly-by-night thing. An average fisherman go about their trade every day, but to, that build business-oriented approach where we have all our checks and balance, all our transparency as to how money is being spent, expenditure and income, and proper accountability, especially when we are dealing with people's money and when we are working with grassroots people, because you know how easy things can be misconstrued or transmission of information from one to the other. And the issue of having people attending meeting as often as possible instead of staying back and listening to them say. So it is a very crucial educational program that we need to continue into 2022 so that our capacity can be compared to very little out there. I want to thank you all for Mitch, Nadine, Adrian, and everybody else, especially the woman folks who are playing the leading role in our fisher folk organization, because we see where the men are taking a back seat basically, but with the whole women power, I think we can achieve so much. Thank you.
Beautifully said, Mr. Peter. And on that note, I'm going to end the recording and thank each and every one of you once more for participating on the CNFO's Leadership Institute. Good night and keep safe.